Hey guys, welcome in here. It is your hosts Brian and Craig from the Sportscast. Craig, my man, how you feeling, brother?
Howdy.
All right, guys. Week 1 has came and gone, and we are going to give you our takeaways from Week 1 of the NFL. I thought overall we had some really good games. We had some surprising comeback victories. We had a surprising blowout as Danny Dimes blew out Miami Dolphins. Just did not see that coming, but. Craig, let's get into your takeaway first. What was your What was one of your takeaways from Week 1?
Well, we questioned on whether the Lions would suffer from losing both coordinators, and boy, that I did not see that coming. Very, very anemic.
Lethargic.
On offense, you did not see the high explosive, go out and score every time offense that you saw in every game last year. I mean, even the ones they lost, they were into the end. They could put points on anybody. Nobody really had an answer to the offense that Ben Johnson had together. They do have 3 new offensive linemen. They did lose a big piece in the center in Ragnow. But man, you have to question on whether this team is going to be able to recover and put up the numbers and points and wins with what they've got going forward. Just did not see that coming at all, and you have to question on whether or not there's a serious issue, or if this was just the Packers really getting better in the offseason and Detroit will be fine.
Yeah, you look at it. Look, they could not run the ball. All this talk about Michael Parsons and the Green Bay Packers can't stop the run. We held him to 46 yards. The best running back duo in the NFL. And Jamar Gibbs he broke a record for having 10 receptions and only 31 yards receiving. Like, that's the fewest anybody has ever had with at least 10 receptions in the NFL history. Great job by Green Bay, and that kind of falls into my takeaway is, did the Packers prove? Did they just show they're the number 1 team to be in the NFC? I've heard it all off season. I've heard it all last year. The Lions are way better than the Packers, and they weren't even on the same field as Green Bay. We got better in the offseason. Jordan Love we only played really on offense 3 quarters. The third quarter we couldn't hit the red side of a barn. Defense was the biggest takeaway in this game. If our defense plays like the way they did against anybody, I like our odds. Michael Parsons effect. He only had 45%. He only played 45% of the snaps. He had a sack. He had 3 pressures, and which one led to an interception. I'll take that all day, every game, man. And this defense looked great. And I talked about it a couple weeks ago, Craig. It's not really what Parsons did. What he did was great. It's what he allowed others to do. Vaness had 4 pressures all last year between 7 games. He had 4 pressures in this one game. We had 4 sacks altogether. The defense looked electric. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me for the Green Bay Packers. And I do think we're a top dog in the NFC right now. I mean, I do think that we are definitely one of the top dogs. The Philadelphia Eagles took care of business against the Cowboys, but the way we manhandled the Lions, and really they got that touchdown in garbage time. The guy made a phenomenal catch.
An incredible catch, yeah.
Incredible catch. So now Green Bay looked good. We play at home again on Thursday night against the Commanders, and we'll see how we look there trying to hold down Jaden Daniels. But so far, so good for Green Bay. Couldn't have asked for a better opener for the Green Bay Packers. Do you think it's overreaction that the Packers are the top dog in the NFC?
I think you have to, and this week will be a probably a not fair test as well, because you're playing on a quick turnaround. You play the late game on Sunday, and then you turn around and have a very good team on short rest. But I think you've got to get a little bit more of a sample size because of the possibility that Detroit does take a step back offensively. I think it was a combination of both. I think Green Bay played very well, and I think Detroit's probably going to take a step back. So I think it's a combination of both. Now, Washington came out, and of course it's a terrible Giants team, and that team doesn't look like it's going to win a lot of football games this year. Russ had 0 time.
I'm benching him, man. He also looked terrible though too.
Right.
So bad.
He has. I mean, Seattle knew something. They saw something, and Pete Carroll saw something that knew that his time was up, because ever since he's left Seattle, he's really just been terrible everywhere he's gone. I've never really seen a fall off like this so dramatically. A guy who went from being a Super Bowl winning quarterback, almost a 2-time winning Super Bowl quarterback, to somebody who really you'd want to play as little as possible. Just very shocking what has happened to Russell Wilson.
All right. Our second, my takeaway, my question is the worst choke job: the Ravens or the Bears? And the Ravens gave up. The Ravens were up 15 points with 4:50 left in the fourth quarter and lost to a good Bills team. Or you had the Bears last night at home with Ben Johnson, and it was 17-7, I believe, in the fourth quarter, and you end up losing that game. And I think the worst loss for me is that one, because Buffalo's a good football team. We know they are, right? The Ravens, they're known for choking, but look at the Bears. The Bears, McCarthy, a rookie quarterback on the road who didn't play 3/4 of the game. He looked like crap. And the fourth quarter, he lights you up like he's Aaron Rodgers or something, and y'all lose at home. You get booed off your home field. Insane. I just got to laugh at the Bears organization right there. But I think that's the worst one because of who they were playing in Minnesota with the question marks of the rookie quarterback pretty much. And we know Baltimore's a tough team. So I got to go with the Bears was worse than the Ravens, but they were both pretty bad. And the Ravens are known to choke, as me and you know this well. They choke when the big games count. What was worse for you though, Craig? Ravens or the Bears?
Well, almost have to say the Ravens, because of they went to the trouble of saying we fixed the defense. We went out in the offseason, we went and got all these guys. The defense can play on its own. The defense is not going to be the problem. As long as the offense puts up points, we're going to be fine, because this defense is top notch, and we're ready to take the next step, and we're here to win the division. We're here to win a Super Bowl. We're here to right all the wrongs. And here was your opportunity. You are playing the MVP of last year. You're playing a very good Bills team. You're playing on the road. You're up a bunch, and you got 4 minutes left. And that last drive just looked like they couldn't stop a nosebleed. And he just did what he wanted. He threw the ball down the field. He had all kinds of time. There was no pass rush.
He was in control of that drive,
said,
100%.
I got it. He put the team on my back, and I'm the MVP, and this is why. And laid it out there and did what he was supposed to do. You got a kicker who took a red eye 2 nights before, didn't know half his teammates' names, and kicks the game-winning field goal, which, I mean, yeah, it's a 30-yarder, but we saw kickers struggle all weekend long. And for Prater to
49ers fired their own kicker today.
Right. When Cleveland had a competition in the offseason and went with the rookie, and he cost them that game. I told you, I said this from the beginning, that I thought the speed of the NFL would be too much for J.J. McCarthy. I watched him in college. He throws the ball, but he basically very much telegraphs where it's going. I'm locked in on this guy, and I'm going to throw to this guy, and everybody in the stadium is tunneled in on this guy, and defenses in the NFL are going to be able to get to that a whole lot faster than even your best defenses in college. Like we've talked about before, on Saturday, you have 1 or 2 guys on the other side of the ball that are that caliber. On Sunday or Monday, you have 11, and they're all that caliber and probably better. And even your worst team will beat any college team all day, every day, because they're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. the speed of the NFL. I want to go and send JJ McCarthy a virtual reality headset and say, put this on and speed the game up and learn how to play, because if you don't, you are going to struggle. And for him to be able to come out in the fourth quarter, you question conditioning of Chicago. You question whether they burned themselves out. Maybe that's what happened to the Ravens. I don't know. But both
Conservative
teams,
play calling too.
yes, yes. And that could be that Caleb Williams is having a trouble absorbing the nomenclature, absorbing maybe the playbook is not fully installed yet. Maybe we only have half of it because that's all I can trust Caleb with. You don't know the real reason. I mean, I don't expect Ben Johnson to come out and go, well, yeah, I can't call all my plays because this guy can't learn them all. So, he's not going to do that. But something happened to where they limited the playbook down to a page or two and said, all right, we're running these and we'll do what we can. And basically they were just trying to hold on rather than killer instinct. And that's what you saw from Ben Johnson in Detroit for the last few seasons, was that killer instinct. Every time they needed a score, every time they needed to hold on to the ball and give the defense a breather, that's what they did. They did whatever they wanted up and down the field. And I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward with both teams. But to me, you expect more out of the Ravens. You expect more out of Lamar Jackson. You expect more out of Derrick Henry. You expect more out of a defense that you went and spent a bunch of money on to upgrade, and you expect this out of the Bears. So,
And I will, yeah, that's true. You do expect it out of the Bears.
yeah.
And I will point one thing out. G. Alexander got cooked twice last night, put on skates to the game-winning catch there. So maybe not a bad idea that Green Bay let him go to the Baltimore Ravens. All right, Craig, what's your second takeaway?
My second takeaway is Justin Fields, I see you. We have given this kid nothing but grief from the time he stepped foot in the NFL. And I have to wonder, we gave Baker the excuse of having 100 different coordinators and 100 different playbooks and 100 different. Justin Fields hasn't had consistency.
Barely had the same
career.
team.
That's what I'm saying. He's learning new books, new teams, new receivers, I mean, Baker at least stayed with the same team. They just would change the coordinators out. He's having to go learn new offenses, new places to live, new everything. And boy, he came out, and I don't know, maybe the Pittsburgh defense is just terrible, and next week he'll look, he'll look horrible. But he made some throws that I went, I've never seen him make that throw. I mean, that first touchdown pass, he couldn't have walked down and placed it in the guy's hand any better. And he threw that. He threw a absolute teardrop dime over the guy's shoulder and hit him in stride and hung toe to toe with the guy who we think was washed up, and that was a very, very entertaining football game. And the Jets defensively couldn't stop anything, so you might want to look at that. I mean, that's a concern when Aaron Glenn is your head coach, and Aaron Glenn is a defensive-minded, and the defense is what let you down. If you score 31 points in a football game, you should win.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 times out of 10. I mean, unless you're playing Buffalo and they scored 50, but I liked what I saw from Justin Fields. He was in control the whole time. He was not overwhelmed. He never got rattled. Every time the defense went and let up the lead, he just goes, all right, guys, I got you. If you could get me one stop, that would be really great. But, and where really the game turned was the kickoff that they fumbled. And if they don't fumble that, then the Jets the Jets probably win the game, and we're talking about Justin Fields looking good and beating Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and this is a game that I had on. I had the NFL Sunday Ticket. I had 4 screens on, but I had the volume on this game. I wanted to see what Aaron Rodgers was going to do, and I might. We'll see. It's still early, but at the end of the year, Craig, I might need to send that apology bus over to Justin Fields because I've killed this kid ever since, and maybe that's not fair. I didn't think he looked good at all in Chicago. In Pittsburgh, they won. He won 4 games before they put Russell Wilson back in, but it was very ugly. Yeah, he had 218 yards. He had a touchdown. He used his legs when he needed to. He threw pretty accurate passes there. He had that dime of a touchdown made me go, "Oh, that was a beautiful pass." Breece Hall had 107 yards. Like this, pretty good offensive performance, 32 yards. If you're the Jets, you're more concerned with the defense. Yeah. Like you said, Aaron Glenn. They did sack Rodgers 4 times. They only gave up 53 rushing yards. They could not run the ball. And DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin had 4 catches for 70 to 80 yards. Not, it was a good game for them, not outstanding. But yeah, Justin Fields did surprise me in this one. And this game was fun all around, and it goes to your third takeaway there, Craig, of Aaron Rodgers, man. He looked pretty good.
And after the game, he goes, "Yeah, I hope everybody in the Jets organization saw that. They said I was done, and well, apparently I'm not." I really thought he needed to retire. I've said that for a couple years now. He got sacked. He got back up and did what he needed to do. You didn't see him on the sideline yelling at people. You didn't see him he was very collected. He was very in the game. I was very concerned with him and the head coach. Those demeanors don't go together. I didn't think that those 2 personalities would mix. They seem to do just fine. I think they. I think that is. They respect each other a lot. Yes.
And I think, honestly, to tell you the truth, that he believes that Mike Tomlin's the first head coach that is on his level about smarts of the football.
And you have to respect what Tomlin's done. Never had a losing season. And Aaron doesn't want to be the first one to break that. And, Aaron does not want to be the guy that went in and broke Tomlin's unheard of streak. You've had a lot of if you have done something that Bill Belichick hasn't done, if you have done something that all these big name head coaches have never done, that's saying something, and with a football team that every year we're like, ha ha, I want to see you do it with this group of band of misfits, ha ha ha. And he does. Some way, somehow. 2 years ago, we were like, it's over. They're 7 and 7 or they're 5 and 7 and there's no way they can, they would have to win out. And look at this schedule, and he wins out, and you're like, what are we doing? Like,
haven't had a legit quarterback since
right.
Since Ben Roethlisberger,
right?
And they,
you've had some hot garbage names in there. Guys that have no business being NFL quarterbacks, and you've won. And now you haven't made playoff appearances or very extended playoff appearances, but you're winning. And not a lot of teams can say that. Not a lot of coaches can say that. So I have to think that Pittsburgh needs to get the defense fixed because Aaron's not going to be able to put up 40 every week. But, man, for not having a whole lot of camp, for not knowing that he was going to play until the last minute, he made his decision to even play this season at the last possible minute right before camp started. And with little work and little prep and little deal, he looked really good. And so that's something to watch.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh, if I'm a Pittsburgh fan, we're a little worried about this defense.
Yeah.
32 points.
A lot worried.
Justin Fields looked pretty good against you. You gave up
a ton
rushing yards.
Yeah.
They did not look good. They looked like the Cowboys that couldn't stop the run, man. It's like, what are we doing?
You couldn't stop the run. You couldn't stop the pass. You couldn't. I mean, it was just a free for all out there, and so very very questionable on the Pittsburgh defense, and we'll see how that looks in the upcoming weeks.
And my third takeaway is I'm looking for the game right now. Man, is Michael Penix for real, Craig? I mean, I don't know if you saw some of the highlights or you watched the Bucks game.
I watched a lot of that game,
but
very calm, very collected.
298 yards. He had a touchdown. He run was almost their leading rusher. Okay, he was 3 yards away from the leading rusher. He ran the ball at the end of the game to get a first down and then a touchdown. And if their kicker doesn't miss the tying field goal, he got him. The Bucks scored a touchdown. I turned it over right when the Bucks scored that final touchdown. And then I turned it off thinking that was it. Well, Penix Jr. drives him down to get to field goal position, and the kicker misses it. And I'm like, oh, man, are you kidding me? Baker only threw for 167, but he had 3 touchdowns on the day. But Penix Jr. impressed me here against the Bucks defense. Pretty good. A divisional game right out the bat here. I thought he played really well, and I'm interested to watch him play. He's got a really interesting throwing motion of the left hand.
Yeah, he's got a ton of weapons over there, and I think they still need to lean on Bijan a little bit more. He did have the 50-yard catch and run, which that was video game stuff. I mean, he caught that and was lucky he hit a turbo button and was gone, and away he went. Yeah, no, he looked good. He looked really good. He was very composed, very poised, never let the moment be too big. If the play wasn't there, he used his legs. That touchdown where he somehow kept his knee from hitting and leaned and that was big. And you really thought they were going to win for a while. You really thought they were going to go to overtime and goes and he almost missed an extra point or a short field goal. He doinked that in. And so the kicking struggle, they changed. They allowed the kicking balls to they used to only get them for a few minutes before the game or something, and now they have special balls that are just for the kickers and punters, and boy, you saw a lot of missed kicks this week.
A lot of problems.
Yeah. A lot of problems. And that's something to watch going forward.
Yeah. Niners cut their guy. I'm like,
yeah, Jake Moody. Jake Moody, if you remember, had troubles at the end of last season, and they went to him and they were like, Jake, you're our guy. Don't worry. He had a good camp, and they thought they had fixed him. They thought he. But boy, when you get the yips, they're real. Yeah. They're real, and I believe he may be a new start for him, and maybe he, because he was in college, he was good. We relied on him in Michigan, and he was really good. But I mean, yeah,
I got 2 honorable mentions here. One, the Bengals win their opening game, which that usually never happens. They usually start 0-3. Hey, win's a win. Browns messed it up, but win's a win.
3 completions and 14 yards in the second half. I'm not impressed with that offense.
Yeah. Second, the Denver Broncos are the first team to turn over the ball, I think, 4 or 5 times and still win the ball game. So,
yeah,
you got to do better there, Denver. I mean, and I thought Cam Ward actually looked decent coming out. The final drive, he had wide receivers dropping the ball left and right. I'm like, oh, man, he's trying to drive you down and tie the game up, and they can't catch the ball.
With what he has, I don't think we can expect – they're going to have to rebuild. They're in a full rebuild.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, that kid will be all right. I think he'll be fine. Bryce Young looked like he was lost again. He looked very overwhelmed. But man – Let's just touch on it real quick. What is going on in Miami?
Oh my gosh, dude. Tua.
You know what that number is?
No idea.
Tua's quarterback rating in that game.
Oh my gosh.
0.7. You could almost take every pass and spike it into the ground and have a better QBR than 2.7.
I heard rumors about another concussion that no one caught. I'm like, what? But I didn't.
You would like to hope that that's the excuse on why you played that horrible. Tyreek Hill cannot get out of Miami fast enough. He wants somebody to come trade for him. He doesn't care if it's the New York Giants at this point. He wants out of there so bad. He's going to take
After
his
one,
Lamborghini and burn it right down the thing and get arrested again because he doesn't want to come to the stadium. What? I loved Mike McDaniels a few years ago, and he has just...
He might, if this continues, he's going to lose his job halfway through the season.
He's going to lose his job Sunday afternoon. He might not get back on a plane if they're on a road game. This is an absolute
33-8
dumpster fire.
To Danny Dimes.
Looked like Uncle
Peyton Manning
over there, and it just destroyed. I mean, the Colts are looking at going, Anthony Richardson's not doing that. Look at this. Look what we did. Look at the decision we made. They look like geniuses over there. Run the ball, throw the ball, whatever you want to do. Defensively, you're not doing nothing. I mean, they held a Miami team to next to nothing all day long.
They need to trade everybody. I'll take Waddle.
Waddle's hurt again.
He's been underutilized there.
Yeah, and I think guys are just saying they're hurt so they don't have to play. And look at this dumpster fire. It is really bad in Miami right now, and I feel bad because I really thought McDaniel was the guy.
Could you imagine waiting all that time and that's the opening game and you're like, now, absolute trash.
Getting booed out of your own, that was
all right. Well,
terrible.
One more thing before we get off here. Thursday night's coming up. Packers at home. Commanders coming into town. Jayden Daniels. They look pretty good against the Giants, 21-6. Who do you got and why?
Well, my question is how healthy is Jayden? He's got a shoulder that shoulder or a wrist or something that got dinged up in the Giants game. I don't know how because they never really got around him. Man, Packers look really good, and they're at home. I think I have to go with Green Bay. I mean, really, I'll be honest with you. I'm hoping that the Green Bay Packers win because then that helps the division. You want everybody in the NFC East to lose as many times as you can. So, yeah, I mean, Green Bay's defense looked good. The quick turnaround will be concerning, but you're at home, so.
Yeah, I'm going to have to obviously agree with you. I think Packers win too. Shocker. Hot take.
Homer Pigeon has returned, folks.
Look. I thought the Sunday game was going to go be a lot closer than it was. We mud stomped the Lions out.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see Daniels. I watched him a little bit over the weekend to kind of see what was going on. To me, he looked like last year, just throwing the ball all over the place. He worries me with his rushing. We're going to have to put a spy on him. We're going to have to do something. Michael Parsons didn't look too injured last week. So,
well, luckily you have a guy that knows him very well.
Yeah. So, I honestly, the Packers defense surprised me how good they were last week. And
well, if they go and put another showing up like this against a very good Washington team, you'll know they're for real. Short week or not.
Yeah.
If you hold that team to single-digit points or no points or something like that, you'll know this defense is for real because Washington is pretty solid.
And I want to point out, too, I make a little notes during the game, Packers games, and we had 0 drops last week. As you all know, we led the leagues in drops, so I think we're getting better on that point.
Well, all the drop guys were not playing, so.
Who? I mean, Jaden Reed played. Well, Watson's injured, and we just extended him today. I'm like, the hell are we extending this guy for? He can't stay healthy. Yeah. Matthew Golden looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft. I like our team. I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be closer. If our defense shuts this team out or holds them to 10 points, then I'm jumping on this here on Friday. We're having a damn good conversation. But all right, well, our Tuesday shows, I guess Wednesday shows, will be a takeaways from the week previous. We'll talk a little bit about the Thursday night game, and then Friday we'll go live and we'll talk about the Thursday night game, and then talk about the week headed into. So week 1's in the books already, Craig. It went by too fast, and we're already headed up to week 2, but I'm excited that football is back. I think we all are.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, that's the episode. The Sportscast. God bless, and remember,
keep it outspoken.